Let's jump in. Game 1. Okay, I cannot do these colors though. I apologize to YeomaN. Welcome in. I think everything should be fine. Welcome in. Game 1. HaraKiri versus YeomaN here in Division 8 of Tarnished Deathmatch Season 7. We're starting out on Watershed, the map I thought might be the least played in the tournament. We're getting it in early this set. It's the Dravidians for HaraKiri here. Not what I was expecting. Good jumping in and out of the TC, though. That's nice. Might get a villager here, though. She's walled in on the other side. That's one villager down early. And HaraKiri is going on a world tour with the light cav, so no return damage on the table. Also, no halberdier to open, so the scout is getting massive value. It will finally get gunned down by the Elefantos. But it's the Saracens on the other side for YeomaN. And you know what? I love the Dravidians, but something I've always said is that the Dravidians are a great civ, but they do get countered by some civs. And I think the Saracens are a pretty tough civ for the Dravidians to overcome. But we'll see what the game plan is here for YeomaN. We're opening early archery ranges for the Saracens, and it's cav archers. Okay, that's not what I would have expected from the Saracens. I think you can just play like Mameluke SO. Open camels, get into Mamelukes in the mid-game, SO behind, and I think that just crushes the Dravidians, but we'll see. Not the biggest base here for HaraKiri. But elephants are on the way. Navy's being produced, but not super fast. It's Carracks for HaraKiri, and it is fire ships for YeomaN. Just fire ships, no fast fire ships. Yeah, it's not a great fight. Halb, I guess, what's the composition here for the Dravidians? It has to be like Halb, Elephant Archer, Bombard Cannon, I suppose, but no Siege Engineers kind of makes that tough. Otter, hello, hello. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. You're just in time. We're in game 1. It's been a slow start, but we're here. Dravidians, game 1 as well. It's not the best civ matchup for my dear Dravidians, I will admit. So HaraKiri is going to have to do some work, but the Cav Archers at least will not do that well against the Elephant Archers. We're seeing Watershed. Camels, of course, countering the Carracks. I like the map expansion for HaraKiri, even though it's not coming in super fast. A couple, yeah, there we go, more barracks. As many barracks as you can muster, I think, is needed. Because a lot of Halbs are going to die in this civ matchup. We're also going Thericidai. Okay. Thericidai maybe okay after the water rework. I don't know. We don't get to see them very often. They certainly look really nice. Saracens have an okay navy, but it's not the absolute strongest. So maybe the Thericidai can do some work. Elephants are eating some big SO shots, which is not ideal. It's actually not a... To be honest, I was unsure about the Cav Archers, because I think Mamelukes are just better, but it's not the worst composition to keep the SO safe, right? Thericidai OP, alright, alright. We'll see. I like this Thericidai, but I don't see them win very often, so it would be nice if we could see it here. They're doing well against the Cannon Galleons, to be fair. Yeah, no fast fire for the Saracens makes this a little bit more difficult, but Thericidai not super good against the castles. Also, maybe not the best against the SO. Oof. Dravidians probably need to go for their own well, they need siege of some kind. It's got to be either bombard cannons or their own SO, right? There's no other option here. Unless Therisidai getting, you know, they're doing damage to the SO. It's something. A lot of units are being thrown away while the SO are really far behind. So that's not the worst trade for HaraKiri. But I think this castle will go down. They're getting some SO out on the field. Hussar before the farms again. It's fine. Yeoman's got plenty of res. It's alright. Karex behind the cannon galleons. That's a little bit unfortunate. SO is out though. Castle does go down, but it is simply replaced. HaraKiri can replace those castles all day long with 3,200 stone. Okay. I like the map awareness. It's a lot of elephants. And there's not much here for YeomaN besides the SO. So this could genuinely go either way. If the SO gets sniped without finding too much damage, this could be a really good fight for HaraKiri, but likewise, they could kill a lot of elephants before they go down. Excuse me. SO putting in work. It's just one SO for HaraKiri. It gets sniped by the Hussar. Eco is looking pretty good on both sides, to be honest. We're pop-capped, HaraKiri is. Castle's going to go down for YeomaN unless the Mamelukes can show up just in time. Does this kill this castle uphill? One more shot? Bang! Castle goes down. YeomaN has to get the eco sorted out here pretty soon. Saracens need a lot of food for almost everything they make. So that'd be a good place to start, I think. Cavalry countering the navy, though. Just... Whoa, Capture Age just crashed. That's not very nice. We're still in, it's fine. I need to change this color back. Okay, hopefully not too much of that goes on. And we've actually settled into a late game situation, which I wasn't necessarily expecting. Usually, if a game goes late, that's a good thing for the Dravidians, because they're a slow-moving civ. We've got elephant archers transported across the way. I like this a lot, I think. I think I like this a lot. There's no military down here for YeomaN. Trying to put the farms down here. The transport ship was too gigapog for Capture Age. I think that's what crashed it. And surprise, we're trying to get castles in here, but the elephant archers have arrived. No farms for you. Mamelukes... Is this enough Mamelukes to clear this? Maybe. A lot of the elephant archers are plinking away at the villagers instead of the Mamelukes. We also have some counter raids coming in. The castles are non-existent for HaraKiri in the eco, which I think is unfortunate. So the raids could do pretty good work. Elephants meander back. Maybe they'll show up later. This TC gets absolutely nuked by a couple of Hussar. But you can't pull back the army is the issue, right? You can pull back a few, but if you send all of the elephants back, suddenly you have nothing at the front. Cheeky little walls. You can technically wall, just not actual walls. Kiki, 7-stream streak. Yes, it's a strange... It's been a while, I think, since you've been here. But yes, you have been here once upon a time. Saracens can play any map, yeah. I wasn't expecting either of these civs, but we'll get back to that when we see the civ draft again. Halberdier, really brave Halberdier, charging across the SO nuking fields. They actually do make it into the SO. Trebs go down. I think this castle will go down. Hussar runs through. And again, the lack of castles in the eco is really hurting HaraKiri, who has 10 castles in the bank, by the way. Sitting on 10 castles worth of stone. I think maybe just put a castle on every single TC, and you'll be in good shape. Mamelukes against the Navy. Gotta be real careful here, HaraKiri. Hopefully it's not responding to the raids and not paying attention. Oh. Oh my god, it's a massacre. We're backing up. We gotta back up. Please back up. That's such an expensive loss. I think we're looking at all this. It's really good timing for YeomaN. Diving with the raids right as the SO finally get their big shots. Eco is still looking okay for HaraKiri. Also has a relic already, which is nice. Eco, although the actual eco number has been nuked in the face of these raids. Those Hussar did so much work. Maybe some counter damage here, though. Elephant Archers never left. Draws a lot of military back to deal with this. And kill some villagers. So maybe another castle will go down in the meantime. Took a huge fight here, but didn't push out. Did YeomaN went back to deal with these couple of elephants instead. I think it's an overreaction, maybe. Feels like you press the advantage, right? When you annihilate like 40 elephant archers in 2 seconds. Losing the front. You can kind of go around the back for quite a long time on this map. SO getting more good shots. Unironically, I think Dravidian Light Cav is not that bad in this position. You need something to go snipe this stuff. Or just, I guess you can do that with bombard cannons, but... Oof, 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 oof. SO does go down. There's nothing here for YeomaN. Look at the population for YeomaN. What happened? There's eco here, but we're not producing. We're microing the Mamelukes, running around this gold. It snipes all of the siege except for the trebuchets, which is kind of the issue. Suddenly it's 142 population to 78. There's 0 military on the field for YeomaN. Dravidians might be going for another victory today. I don't know. It's looking all right. Treb's a little bit too close to the castle. Have to back up. This is great. Doing damage from the water. Gold is kind of an issue for YeomaN. Oh no, another Dravidian victory? You can never have too many Dravidian victories. And the GG is called. Dravidians take game 1 over the Saracens. I shouldn't have doubted them. I said it was a bad Civ matchup at the beginning of the match. That's on me. I can't doubt the Dravidians. What a game. Really well played by HaraKiri. A couple things a little like... We never placed down those 10 castles, which is unfortunate, I think, but... Good army control. Kept the important parts of the army alive enough to win. Took a couple bad SO shots, but you know what? It works. Dravidians can counter anything? True. Dravidians OP, absolutely true. All right. Okay. I'm not doing well with the Civ guesses yet. But welcome in. Game 2, YeomaN versus HaraKiri. We are on Fez for game 2. It is the Magyar, so at least that was 50%, but it's the Cumans here for YeomaN. Which is not what I would... I mean, I guess they're mobile too. So if I rationalize the Magyars, I can rationalize the Cumans the same way, but... The Cumans are a huge, huge rush civ, and this is not a rush map. You're so far away from your opponent. Nice early damage here, though. Doesn't kill anything, but has kind of messed up the opening build order for HaraKiri, which I think is not the most polished anyway. So normally I would... The closer you are together, the more I would like the Cumans. But this might just work. There's not a lot of military out on the field yet for HaraKiri. The Step Lancers are coming into the eco. Cav archers are leaving, which I think is not good. We're gonna need some crazy good quick walls here. RM are spotted. It's a palisade wall. But the Step Lancers are flooding underneath the TC. The castle is denied. Maybe the humans are just strong enough. Good micro at the front, though, for HaraKiri. Snipes 3 villagers with the Cav archers. But the eco is just totally idled out for HaraKiri, right? And without a castle, I don't know if you can ever clear this. Yeah, I think it's cooked. I think it's super cooked. I think it's incredibly cooked. HaraKiri is housed. The TC is just going to get nuked out by the Step Lancers. And, well, one villager tries to sneak out here. A couple villagers sneak out here. If they can complete the castle, but they can't. And I think this is just over. Never doubt the humans. Especially in these great value by these Cav archers, but unfortunately there's nothing left at home. There's no villagers or TCs left for HaraKiri. So, there you go. HaraKiri says good one. And YeomaN's on the board. There we go. A big long game 1 and then a 5-minute game 2. That's the power of the humans. No eco versus no army, the classic. And as it turned... Well, this isn't no eco versus no army. This is no eco and no army, which does not work out very well, it turns out. Okay, welcome in. Game 3, HaraKiri versus YeomaN here on Savannah. Good old Savannah. We've got the Berbers for HaraKiri, and it is indeed the Slavs for YeomaN. I couldn't post my stream in TDM, Otter, because I don't have I'm not allowed, apparently. I tried. This time I actually did try. I guess I could have posted it in DM Gaming, but I didn't. Let's see here. HaraKiri hasn't found a ton of damage early on with the scout, and will not find a ton of damage here, but neither does YeomaN. YeomaN actually going for a clump this... No, sorry. HaraKiri going for a clump this time. Against the Slavs. Slavs are a faster civ as well, or at least they can be. You get the extra pop space from the production building, so you can rush a little bit faster, but usually they're opening infantry siege. That's kind of the composition they want to be in, and then they add in boyars, so I don't know if you necessarily need to be worried about it early on. But better safe than sorry, you know? If you get blitzed down by the humans in 5 minutes, you may as well just start to be a little safe. It's a hand cannoneer opening for HaraKiri. Ooh. Okay. That's tough against SO, I think, but we'll see how it works out. Camel's in the back. Lots of castles. Of course, Berbers do like their camel archers. That's a mainstay of their composition, regardless of who they're up against. They always go camel archers. I like the big expansions by both players. Camels are cleared up. What a chill game compared to the last one. A very chillax game. I don't know if the Berbers can be super chill, though. I think they need to do damage, no? Because now we're rolling in here with hand cannons, and it's already SO, heavy score, Palb, and the boyars are indeed beginning to come out. I think that's a tough fight to take. Asar. Do not find value through the halbs. More cavalry in the back. Good expansion here. Monastery market for HaraKiri. Ecos are pretty even on both sides so far. Camel archers in the back can deal with the halberdier better than the Hussar can. There's a lot of halb, though. There's a lot of halb coming back here. Castle will go up on the hill for YeomaN. A little bit behind the gold here on this one, that's fine. Covers the wood lines. Camel Archer mass is getting up there. Camel Archers can deal with can kind of deal with the halbs. They should do okay against the Boyar, I think. Maybe not, though. It's a lot of armor on the Boyar, just generally speaking. Another castle for YeomaN. Center mass. Don't know if I would make Berber champion against the Slavs. I don't know what I would make against the Slavs, to be honest. This is one reason I thought maybe we'd see the Georgians instead. I think they can match up slightly better against the Slavs, but it's still not ideal, right? Lots of Scorpions. Boyar run through. They're going to thin out the Camel Archer number in the back. It's all ranged units in here for HaraKiri, so the halbs are just patrolling in. Scorpions are getting great shots behind. Hand cannons, I suppose, are getting some value. Hand cannons are okay against the Boyar. They have enough raw damage to punch through the armor. I suppose that's good. Nice snipes on the SO, but forward positioning is looking really good for YeomaN. That castle is briefly denied. HaraKiri has really good map awareness. You can see the elo, right? Is really solid, so putting that 2K2 skill set to use and keeping track of what's going on the map, but YeomaN not super focused on the map, is just kind of going straight down the middle and saying, can you stop me? It's good bombard cannon micro so far, though. SO numbers, where are the SO? They're kind of, we're missing, oh, here they are. They're kind of around. Forward castle goes down. Scorpions are getting domed by the bombard cannons. YeomaN has to be a little bit careful. Maybe this is, again, what Otter's talking about, not able to queue quite so many things at once without the hotkeys. Boyar are sniping hand cannons, I guess, but that's not really the problem unit right now. Hand cannons help against the infantry? Yeah, they help. I think they're not as good against the infantry as, like, other things the Berbers can make even, but if they're fine, they're good. Okay, well, they're dead now. They get domed on the hill. They can't dodge the SO shots quite as nicely as the camels, I suppose. Gotta be careful, though. We're downhill against the SO. We decide to back up a little bit here. Trebs maybe could target the SO here, but they're going to go down. Okay, they get one. Couple camels mixed in, get okay value against the Boyar. A little friendly fire. HaraKiri is waiting for something to come out to these golds. Absolutely waiting. Good map control again. Hits the market, buys some stone for that castle up in the north. YeomaN just massing up for another big push in the middle. What are you looking back here? It's not the prettiest farming eco, but it's still Slav farms. Hussar and camels think about running in, but decide not to. Boyar roll through, and the SO's behind. HaraKiri trying to dive with the Hussar, but really good unit control here for YeomaN. Halbs deal with the Hussar. Boyar clear up the siege, and now the siege continues to trundle in towards the Camel Archers. Really good fight. I guess there's no Trebs behind, so YeomaN feels like he needs to back up away from the castles. Feels bad to back up there, though, no? Trebs up on the hill here for HaraKiri. They will go down, but they nuke out the castle. Good raids. Hussar in the back. Camel Archers on the sides. And this big slow army. It's not the best to respond against the raids with, is it? Quick walls to make the Boyar go around. Who is this 2k2 crazy person? Camel Archers could deny this castle, but don't quite see it. Now a lot of army for HaraKiri is chasing the Boyar into the back, so I think this is a good time maybe for YeomaN to go in at the front. There are bombard cannons still here, though. Can be the third relic for HaraKiri. Disrupts the gold in the back. Both players are pop capped, so that's usually when fights start to happen. Don't know where these villagers are going. Okay. They're distracting the army. They're distracting the army very nicely. I'll say that about them. They punch down an SO. These aren't Spanish villagers. There's more SO where that came from, though. Camel Archers need to back up. Camel Archer number has gotten a little bit low as well. That's a great shot. And again. Yep. And again. Yep. Just thin out these Camel Archer numbers. Bombard cannons are sniping the SO, though. Can we at least get a castle? Bombard cannons go down. Maybe we get a lot more than a castle. First castle falls. Military is mostly Hussar, but the raids are really coming in. The villager number is not looking good for YeomaN. Oh, boy. Where is the eco for YeomaN? I don't know. And there's just enough Hussar at the front, I guess. It's not the strongest army for HaraKiri anymore, but this has enough here, and suddenly we're down to 36 villagers. Lost about 100 villagers in the last 30 seconds or so. Absolutely brutal. Still kind of has this push going at the front, but the issue is we can't replace any of the units we lose anymore, right? 30 villagers is simply not enough. And I think HaraKiri is going to take this game as well. It might take a little bit longer. Still has to fight back the forward positioning. But I don't know if YeomaN can recover from this. I don't know if he will ever financially recover from those raids. Castle goes up, but the villagers are all going down. Lots of military just in the back of the base for YeomaN, still trying to deal with the raids. They have cleared it up, though. HaraKiri has the trebs at the front now. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. It was a great fight at the front, but HaraKiri was doing multiple things at once. Was losing the fight at the front, but absolutely eviscerated the eco in the back at the same time. It's also sneaking these side golds really nicely. I guess that's where those villagers were heading, down the middle, that all got butchered. Maybe they were going there. YeomaN trying to get popped back up, but it's tough out here. And this might be the last gold YeomaN really has solid access to. Still has this one out here, but it's not the most secure. Boyar is trying to buy YeomaN some time now. Snipe the trebs. And he's gonna get a couple at least. Actually might get all of them. The Halberdier mowing through the trebs. Last one. Castle is saved on one hit. One hit left to go. We've got Janitors on the field, and in the face of Janitors, what can you do except call the GG? The answer is nothing. HaraKiri takes game 2, winning it via raiding. Really nice work here for HaraKiri. And Otter said it a little bit in his set he just cast, but I feel like these really good RMers get a lot better as the series go on. The first game was kind of rough opening for HaraKiri. Managed to settle down. Came through. The second one, obviously Cumans are Cumans, but if it feels like if HaraKiri doesn't get blitzed down, the mid to late game is very strong. Welcome in game 4, potentially decider match. YeomaN versus HaraKiri. We are here on HaraKiri. And HaraKiri doesn't know about the castles. No, it's Vietnamese for HaraKiri. It is the Romans for YeomaN, who also he takes both castles and one of HaraKiri's, and it's a disaster. It's actually absolutely a disaster, man. YeomaN does lose a villager. HaraKiri going for the clump again, but the clump don't work if your opponent has both castles on your side of the map. 4-castle domination by YeomaN. Loses another villager, by the way. Is getting absolutely ransacked at home. But I don't think it matters, because now you can just make trebs in these arenas, and you can treb down these castles before they ever come up. I think you don't even start with Centurions here. You start straight up with trebs, ideally. But it probably doesn't matter. HaraKiri still maybe... Okay, does see the castle here. So maybe is beginning to realize that things have gone wrong. Maybe is starting to realize that things have gone wrong. Cav Archer opening again. Maxi would be proud, but I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think there's any way you can come back from losing all 4 castles immediately. Cav Archers are here. More villagers are going to go down. It's really good. I mean, if HaraKiri just knew about the castles, I think this could easily have been a win. Because, I mean, it's been really good behind, right? 6 villagers were sniped, but unfortunately... Well, Centurions are dying. The clump actually is serving an okay purpose against the Centurions, but 9 villagers have gone down now. Once the castles fall, there's no hope. And the castles will fall. Vietnamese as well. Paper money, paper castles. They don't get all their upgrades for their castles anyway. They're down the hill. Okay, things are getting a little funky up in here. But it's fine. The first castle falls. And the second castle will also fall. Centurions are running through the TC. They don't care about the castle. And, well, we got a game 5 on our hands. That's all I'll say. We've got a good game 5 on our hands. Decider match. So, not to give HaraKiri's future opponents any ideas, but it feels like the rushes are the way to go here. Feels like the rushes are maybe the way to go. Last 2 vills. 2 vills in a dream. But it's a palisade quick wall. Classic. And HaraKiri's dead. No TC. Second game, by the way, in this series that HaraKiri has been reduced to no TC and no villagers. And... YeomaN takes the win. Romans beating the Vietnamese here on HaraKiri. So let's see. Welcome in game 5. Final game decider match. YeomaN versus HaraKiri. It's a playoff 5, but we got to the best of 5 naturally anyway. And we are here on Golden Lakes. It is the Sicilians for YeomaN. It is the Koreans for HaraKiri. Okay. Neither player knows where their opponent is, it looks like. They both sent their scout across. Quite close spawn, to be honest, as far as Golden Lakes goes. That's probably good for HaraKiri, the longer the scout. Although I say that, HaraKiri killed like 6 villagers with the starting scout in the last game. Will not happen this time, of course. The Sicilians get that first castle up very quickly. And it's Fire Lancer opening for HaraKiri. Fire Lancer hand cannons. Ooh, that's one way you can maybe win as the Sicilians. Sergeants should dumpster the Fire Lancers. And then you've got, theoretically, SO to deal with the hand cannons. Oh boy, that's a little spooky. Let's see. Donjon creep towards the middle for YeomaN. And yeah, indeed, the sergeants do very well against the Fire Lancers, kind of holding their own 2v6 there. Hand cannons pretty slow to produce, so it takes a while for them to come out. Also, only 2 archery ranges, right? So the hand cannons are an integral part of this composition against the sergeants. Actually, unironically. RMer alert! Yep. This is another RMer sort of opening for sure. I still think there are situations where Fire Lancers aren't so bad in DM. I think they're a little bit overhated maybe in some very particular matchups. But it has to be those very particular matchups. I think 99 times out of 100 you just want to go Halb, War Wagon, Rocket Cart as the Koreans. It doesn't matter who your opponent is. You simply make that composition and it beats a lot of stuff. Sergeant's getting rocketed, but Donjon's putting in really good fire here. Castle is up for HaraKiri, so that's going to push back the Donjons. And cannons are doing alright against the sergeants, I suppose, but they do have to pull back away from the Donjons. Rocket Cart's getting sniped by sergeants. War Wagons are starting to take the field. YeomaN's throwing a lot of sergeants away to the castle and the hand cannon, but I guess as long as you continue sniping siege, maybe it's an okay trade. More castles behind. HaraKiri getting the TCs up early. It's not Donjons in the middle, by the way. It's just Donjon straight at your opponent on the ridge. So not quite the Donjons in the middle strat, but close. Sergeants continue to roll in. Eco's not looking... I mean, the Eco's looking okay on both sides, but the res bank is not looking super hot for HaraKiri. Still 29 hand cannons in the queue out of still only the 2 archery ranges. I think a couple more ranges maybe would have been ideal. Sergeants are still diving underneath all these castles, though. Ground is being made, but that's a lot of resources dying for YeomaN. He's going for a fish boom. The players are thinking about it, I guess. Trebs have arrived for YeomaN, so the first castle at the front should go down for HaraKiri. Still resident in the bank for YeomaN as well. War Wagons finding some raiding value and might snipe the fishing eco, actually. YeomaN is pretty far behind economically, so if he loses all this stuff and then can't quite finish the push, that could be a way to win the game for HaraKiri, but push continues. One SO gets sniped, but only one. 4 TC has to be abandoned. Sergeant's still just kind of running through castles and war wagons and everything. Fire Lancers do the full loop-de-loo and actually snipe another couple SO. TC will go down though. Not the fit. There's still more villagers coming back here too. Okay, Halb can maybe clear this up. Yeah, alright, that's fine. Another castle falls. Another TC down. There's no more castles at the front. And the Rams roll in. Bombard cannons have to roll away. Rocket cart. Getting some good shots on the Rams. 72 villagers for HaraKiri, which is crazy. I love the spread around the back. That's that 2k2 elo coming in clutch again. YeomaN maybe getting a little ahead of himself, rolling in underneath the rocket cart with all the siege. Does snipe the rocket cart. We snipe the bombard cannons. No. Military is starting to dry up for YeomaN. Sergeants around the back are just going to drop Donjins wherever they can, but the Trebs will go down. The Q isn't there for YeomaN. I'm getting a little spooked. It was a great push. It still is a great push, but I'm getting a little nervous. We've seen YeomaN have forward positions multiple times this series and not quite be able to finish them off. Castle attempted, but there's Sergeants here, and there's a Donjin here. Albs don't really get it done. Well, they do a lot of damage against the War Wagons at the front here, I suppose. Now the Rams roll in, but there's nothing with the Rams. 16 military is all. The Donjins deny the castle for now. Good micro there, but monitors are all dead, and suddenly we've got a bit of a reset here. Both players are taking some gold in the middle. YeomaN still has really good forward positioning, but YeomaN also still has the worst civ. We have to keep that in mind as well. And is down quite heavily economically. Yeah, the push was gold. The push was gold. The push was good, but as Otter is pointing out, HaraKiri still maintained gold access throughout it, right? Ooh, and now the SO is just wandering in. 3 kills. Okay, they got 1 good shot off. But I think HaraKiri has weathered the storm. I don't know if the Sicilians have what they need. First Crusade! That'll give YeomaN some military at least. Does he have? Yeah, he has enough TCs. Both players are kind of not able to do anything right now. HaraKiri is sniping villagers in the middle, but there are castles here for YeomaN. Yeah, we do need to pull the SO back. We can't keep funneling them in. I'd like more villagers for YeomaN. More castles for HaraKiri. Both players just totally avoiding actually putting stuff in the middle, interestingly enough, which I guess makes sense. It's cracked terrain and you're downhill, right? So it's really tough to keep buildings up in the middle. But I thought someone would. Trebs at the front is an interesting idea. They're super uphill, though. One goes down before the SO get involved, but the SO are here. And they get some pretty good shots. Bombard cannons behind. And here are the Donjins in the middle. We're finally seeing it. Rocket carts down the hill as well, getting really good shots in. Oh my god. And this is kind of the issue with the Sicilians, right? They can do all these good things. They can creep around with the Donjins. They have good siege. They've got, like, the good infantry, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. Koreans just kind of do it all better, I think. Let's see, though. Donjins are up in the middle. That makes this a little bit more tricky. They'll snipe out the rocket carts, which do get really good shots in on the Scorpions. Oof. Sergeant's flooding around the side again. Gonna snipe some siege, deny a castle. Sergeant's not the most mobile unit in the game, but maybe you can flank with them anyway. Really good snipes around the sides, actually. Trebs are still alive, still having to fire uphill. Population is down below 100, though, for YeomaN. The Q is not there. It was a really good try for YeomaN, but I don't know. I don't know if you can come back anymore. Trying to roll the siege up the hill into the rocket carts and the bombard cannons is really tough too. And the GG is called. One last good shot on the rocket carts, but HaraKiri takes the series 3-2. Really good series. Back and forth. YeomaN clapped in the 2 games he won. got a victory in the other games too, but HaraKiri is so strong after the openings. And if HaraKiri knows what the map is, seems really strong and just outlasted YeomaN 3 times. Good attempt versus Koreans. It was a good attempt. It was a good series by YeomaN. Obviously has the knowledge, right? Knew what HaraKiri was, which helps. But also just like knew how to do the Kuman rush, knew how to do this Sergeant Sicilian rush. Like the knowledge is really good there for YeomaN. HaraKiri just so powerful in the late game.